So how can you actually go ahead and dropship on Facebook Marketplace? Well, it's kind of a hybrid between dropshipping and arbitrage, right? So typically what I said before is people would tell you to list something from eBay, for example, right? And then list it on Facebook Marketplace for a higher price. And then when somebody buys it from you, you order it from eBay to the actual buyer, right? Then you just have to front the money and you make the difference in profit and they get their item, but they get it at a higher price. And hopefully they don't obviously realize that, right? I don't recommend doing it that way. What I do recommend doing, though, is listing it from places like Amazon or Walmart, where the shipping time to you is very, very fast, 1 or 2 days max, right? Sometimes 3, and you can kind of get away with that, but although I would say 1 or 2 days max is probably ideal, right? So that's why Amazon is, if you have Amazon Prime, is perfect for this, okay? And what I would say is, this is going to be the example one that we list right here. What I would say is you list these items from Amazon or from Walmart, places with fast shipping, and then you list them on Facebook Marketplace. And when somebody orders that from Facebook Marketplace, then you wait to ship it out on Facebook Marketplace and mark it as shipped for like a day. You order it immediately, and I'm going to show you this how I kind of orchestrate this and organize it. So it's very, very simple here in a second. And then you order it to your house and then you ship it out. It works very, very well. There's no risk on your part because you don't have to actually go out and spend and front the money for inventory until you're guaranteed the sale and the profit, right? But also it's within the terms of service of the website, in this case, Facebook Marketplace, and you don't have to ever worry about going against the terms of service because you're not facilitating the sale from another seller to a buyer on here, right? You are going to be the seller. You're going to actually have the product at your house that you're shipping out to them, but you're waiting to get that product up until you get the sale, right? So it's kind of a hybrid system between drop shipping and arbitrage, but it works very, very well. And it's also perfect for beginners if you don't have a lot of money, but you have a lot of time, because you either have time or money. And if you have a lot of time, this is a perfect way to start making money reselling online, with practically no risk and not much money needed at all, right? And then you can kind of build up an initial nest egg and then spend it on a more scalable reselling business that you can obviously make good money with, right? You can make good money doing this as well, but it's just a little bit more labor intensive because I've seen testing this out that you do constantly have to list to constantly get sales. So keep that in mind, right? You can make good money here, but again, this is kind of more like the side hustle, side hobby type of thing, more so than the full-time income, which would be like maybe like books or wholesale or something with software like that, like an online arbitrage, like a tactical arbitrage or a Source Mogul, okay? So let's go through the tutorial now. It's key and crucial here. This is a bad example of one, but it's just one that I kind of wanted to list for fun because I saw it and I thought it was cool. But typically speaking, when you're doing this, you're going to want to go after listings that are very, very reputable, have a lot of ratings, and are clearly kind of set on the actual Amazon Marketplace or Walmart. But that's why I recommend Amazon, because you can kind of see those a little bit better, right? I've listed a lot of clothing, so let me show you an example of let's go after blouse, or maybe not blouse. So perfect example of this right here would be like this one right here is $22.99. So I could list this on Facebook Marketplace maybe for like $35. And then it's no risk on me because I'm just spending like the 2 minutes to list it. And then if somebody buys it, I'm guaranteed the difference in profit because I would get $35, but I only have to spend 23 to get it to my door and then ship it out, obviously, right? And I would charge them for shipping, although you can obviously decide to offer free shipping if you want to go that route, right? So typically this is a good listing right here, because you know that it has a lot of ratings. So it's not necessarily going away anytime soon because the seller's entire incentive here is to keep this listing going on on Amazon, right? Because it's making them money, right? You also know that typically the price is going to stay pretty steady if it's a listing like this because it's already ranked. And so that's why I recommend, especially when you're starting, to go after listings that are highly rated and already ranked on the platform. And this is already ranked because I literally just searched for this and it popped up like almost first, right? So that's what I'd recommend that you list first. It doesn't have to be closed, but literally anything like that with a lot of ratings that's already ranked that you can kind of rely on. You know that the price isn't really going to change much, and it won't go out of stock very often, if at all, okay? But just for an example, let me list this one here. And we're actually going to take this listing on Amazon and list it on Facebook Marketplace. And I'll show you exactly how I'd go through that process to drop ship it within my own reselling business, right? So here we are on Facebook Marketplace right here, and we're in the middle marketplace here, and we're going to go to create a new listing. We're going to go item for sale. And the first thing that I like to do is grab the pictures because that's the most labor intensive part of this. It's very, very easy, but it's the hardest part, which is kind of funny. So we're going to get like avocado slicer tool 3-in-1. We're going to say like 3-in-1 avocado slicer tool, multifunctional. And we're going to save it like that. And I'm going to save these backwards because for whatever reason, my computer categorizes them backwards in my downloads folder. And I haven't, for whatever reason, been able to figure out how to get rid of that. So we're going to go 3-in-1 avocado slicer tool, multifunctional kitchen accessory. And I literally just made that up. You can come up with a better one, but I just made that up there. And what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to save every single picture on this listing as something like that. So it saves the keywords in the metadata of the pictures and helps rank you higher on the Facebook Marketplace platform, right? So I'm going to save this image right here as number 2. And we're just going to go down and save all of these really fast. 3, 4. And you might not be fast at this in the beginning, but eventually you'll get faster and faster, and you'll be able to crank them out in like a minute or two. And I'm also going to talk about another marketplace that you can do this on as well, where you can literally do this on the same marketplace at the same time while you're doing this and get double bang for your buck. But we're going to cover that later, one thing at a time. And the last one right here, 9, and then we're going to X out of this, okay? And now we have the photos that we're going to list on Facebook Marketplace. So let's copy them all in there. And I don't know if I still have the title. Oh, I do. Okay, so it's going to be 3-in-1 avocado slicer tool multifunctional kitchen accessory with all the pictures. Pretty solid listing, right? Because the pictures are literally what's going to sell the listing, not just on Facebook Marketplace, but on pretty much any platform, okay? Price is $3.99. So if it stays at $3.99, which we can pretty much assume it will, not always, sometimes you'll see it goes up, sometimes you'll see it goes down, but typically if you follow what I recommended and you go after something that's highly rated and highly ranked, the price rarely changes and it rarely, if ever, goes out of stock. So, excuse me, we're going to say available quantity 5. I wouldn't go like too crazy here. If you constantly come in and you list like available quantities like super high, eventually, I've never seen it personally, but I would assume like it's going to look a little shady. So I would say probably don't do that. So let's just go like 3 or 5. You can always add quantity later on platforms, if it's on this one or other places. The price per item, we're going to say like 15. I don't think that's that crazy to ask for 15 for an avocado slicer. This is still in the realm of that's a little high. You could ask for 10 if you wanted to and take a little bit of a smaller cut. But this is still within the realm of like a gut shot, right? Or like an impulse buy. So people, as long as it's within like 5 to like 25 to 35 bucks, a lot of times people aren't necessarily thinking or price shopping a lot of times. And that's why drop shipping like this works so well. So they're really making an impulse buy. They see it, they think it's cool, they want it, they click purchase as long as it's within that price range most of the time with most people, okay? Category, we'll go after like kitchen accessories. We'll just say kitchen knives for the sake of showing you and not wasting your time for this demo, but obviously I'd find a better category. It's new. We don't have a brand. You can make it black or green or whatever you want with the color. And then the description, I'm literally going to take the description here and make sure, especially if you're listing on Amazon, like sometimes the last ones will say like guaranteed return or, money back guarantee or something like that, right? So like satisfaction pre and after sales. I don't want to take that because I obviously don't want to offer that to customers. So make sure you don't copy that. And then the most important part of this is one of the things that I do, and you'll see this is an example right here with just PDS in my folder. And I actually have a bunch on my desktop as well. I kind of stopped doing it on my laptop here, but you'll see like the last one I did here is 36, right? So these are all drop shipping listings that I have. So I know that if for whatever reason I list this and somebody buys this, I go to my description and I see what number that is. And then I go back to my folder, I literally buy that number, and it's a very easy way to manage my drop shipping inventory so I'm not confused. Okay, so I'm going to say, what was it, 37, I think? Yeah, 37 is what we're on. So I'm going to put 37 at the bottom of the description. And then when somebody buys this, I can literally come down and be like, oh, it's number 37. And I come to my folder and buy the number 37 and then organize it that way. And it makes it very, very simple, okay? Now, product tags, I'm just going to make a couple to wait so I don't waste your time, but avocado slicer, avocado knife, and just avocado, can't sell this morning. I'm just going to have 3 here, but obviously I'm just doing that for the sake of the demo right here and not to waste your time. I'd recommend coming up with as many good ones as you possibly can, but at least 5, okay? Ideally, the sweet spot is obviously the more the better, especially on Facebook Marketplace where you're not really competing with a lot of tags now. And I've also noticed that like very good brands do well, so put them in the tags. Perfect example of this is DeWalt. I had like a DeWalt tool and it got like immediately like 500 views and it's still going. So the tags and the brands work very, very well on this, at least I've seen. But for the sake of showing you here, I'm just going to leave 3, okay? We're going to move me over here so I can show you this. And another thing here is a lot of people kind of don't want to do this because they don't want to be posting listings constantly to their friends and the people that they're friends with on Facebook, which I guess is the same thing. So if you don't want to do that, just click this tab over and it will hide it from your friends so that it posts it to the Facebook Marketplace, but it doesn't post it to the people that follow you or that you're friends with on Facebook and they don't see that, right? And now we're going to hit next and we're going to go shipping only because this is a drop shipping listing. If you're listing something else where you do want to offer, pickup or local meetup, you can also do that. You can also offer this local meetup if you want to on dropshipping listings. I don't like to do that, so I'm not going to do that. And this is typically where you'll see other dropshippers say, use your own shipping label so that you can order it from somebody else to them. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say use my own prepaid shipping label, and I'm going to charge the buyer per the shipping. This is a very light item. It's just an avocado slicer. Now, this is another thing that I like to recommend to people. I don't recommend to get crazy. So if you're listing like something that's super heavy, don't say it's under 5 pounds or light, obviously. But typically, in my experience, you can slightly underreport something to save a little bit. And I haven't seen any repercussions from that. And typically, it works very well for me. Now, that's just my personal opinion. That's my anecdotal experience. You can test it out, see if it works for you. But that's what I like to do, and that's what works for me. But obviously, in this specific case, this is exactly what that is. It's very, very light. And estimate, right? You don't need the exact kind of measurements and weight here, okay? And if you do want to offer free shipping and take a little bit of a hit here, you can. It's going to tell you the estimated payment here. So I'm making $14.06 if somebody buys this, and clearly I'm only paying $4 right there. So that's like a $10 profit margin. If I did want to offer free shipping, well, then I would only make $10 and I would still be spending $4, so then it'd be a $6 profit margin. You can make that call yourself. I'm not going to do that. I've been testing different ways, like offering free shipping on a number of marketplaces and offering shipping. I used to tell people to offer free shipping. Now I'm leaning more towards charging for shipping. I haven't really noticed too many differences in sales velocity on different marketplaces. And it seems to be like my sales are still very, very similar, regardless if I offer free shipping or not. So in that specific aspect, I would say you might as well take the extra profit if it doesn't seem to hurt your sales as much. But again, this is just my experience and what works for me. It's just what I recommend to most people, okay? And then you hit next, and you're going to be able to list it. Now, if you're a member of these groups, you can also list it to a number of other yard sales and like online buyer groups and stuff like that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not a member of them. And then you hit publish. And that's how you drop ship on Facebook Marketplace within the terms of service like I recommend,